I don't know. It is what it is, though. We're not tripping. All right. So we're going to look at this other video. So I got another video for y'all. It's actually the same. It's the same Breakfast Club, Charlemagne and all them, but I believe it's a different segment. I don't know if it's the same day as the Byron Donalds, but take a look at this. So take a look at this video because this is I'm not sure that a lot of people are aware of this particular thing that Kamala Harris put in play. So let's take a look at it.
Radio show host Charlemagne the God applauded a Trump campaign ad that aired during NFL football games over the weekend. That ad highlighted Vice President Kamala Harris's previous support for taxpayer-funded surgeries for transgender inmates. For context, in 2019, Harris explained her support, saying, quote, "It is important that transgender individuals who rely on the state for care receive the treatment they need, which includes access to treatment associated with gender transition." Here's Charlemagne's reaction to that ad. Let's watch.
That ad they was running during the football games this weekend, claiming the vice president supports funding gender transition surgeries for all prison inmates and migrants in the U.S. That was nuts. I don't know if it was.
I wouldn't say nuts, but that was crazy.
That was funny.
I don't know if it was the backdrop of football. But when you hear the narrator say Kamala supports taxpayer-funded sex changes for prisoners, that one line, I was like, hell no, I don't want my taxpayer dollars going to that.
I definitely see that. She did
that ad was effective.
Kamala took a picture with a transgender. It was this what they were saying, that it made it seem like Kamala supports transgender sex changes in jail with our money. That's what it came across.
Yeah, is that what they're saying?
It literally said.
This is the thing. I think we touched on this on a show maybe last week. And I want to not talk so much so I can get through this video so they're not flagging me. But we talked about this. But how are y'all, such Kamala Harris bandwagoners, that it's like y'all I'm glad that y'all had a real review of this or a real response to it and acknowledged it, because they didn't have to do it. So I guess I should applaud them for just acknowledging this and putting it on the show. Because this is one of those things where I know that the Democrats, the Kamala Harris team, is probably upset for them for validating this and acknowledging it.
That Kamala supports taxpayer-funded sex changes for prisoners. And it talks about how, she supports funding gender transition surgeries for all prison inmates and migrants in the United States. That ad was impactful. It was. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, damn.
Was it because it was during football?
Yes.
I think it was because it was during football.
But the last week, like the contrast of it.
Yes.
But the last week they had the same thing running on Tim Walsh and said he likes tampons in boys' bathrooms.
I would not have paid that. I don't think I would have paid that commercial no attention if it was.
What's so surprising is he's talking about the Tim Walsh putting tampons in boys' bathrooms. Were you not aware of that? And to me, that just. Trump should have said it during the debate, and J.D. Vance should have acknowledged that yesterday, but he kept it classy, so I understand. However, we have to understand who we're voting for. There's a lot of people that are voting for Kamala Harris, that are planning on voting for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, that are not aware of these things. Do you want your tax dollars going to funding the surgeries of people that are in prison or locked up and locked up, so they can get their gender affirming surgery? Is that, do whatever you want to do. And that's the thing. Like, this is what we were talking about on the last show. All this stuff. Hold on. Let me do this for a second. All this stuff is forced on us. All of this stuff has been forced on us. And I was thinking about all the things that have been forced on us, whether it's 2020, what happened then? Hey, you have to take this or you can't move around. Whether it's Black Lives Matter, if you don't support Black Lives Matter, if you don't have this quota, if you don't have this particular equity score, whatever they were doing with businesses, what else did they force on it? The LGBTQ agenda overall, all of these areas that they're just forcing stuff on us, like forcing it on us. I don't know. Like, are we not even paying? Like, are we not paying attention? Because we're going to end up voting for somebody out of spite, just because we dislike Trump so much. We're going to end up voting for somebody that when they get in office and they start implementing some of the policies that they've been very clear on, but because we're only scared of, think about it like this. We are scared of Project 2025. The Democrats are trying to make us scared to death about Project 2025, that we'll be in chains and shackles if Donald Trump wins. And Donald Trump has repeatedly said, like, yo, I haven't read it. I don't know anything. Like, I don't know about it. It's not me. Like, I have my own policy, my own plans. Look on my website. Look at what I've done when I was in office. But the things, but Democrats, Kamala said it. I'm not sure if Tim Walz referenced it yesterday as well, but the moderators brought it up, I believe. Everybody associates Trump with Project 2025, something that he's distanced himself from. Meanwhile, the things that Kamala Harris is actually standing on, that she's actually implementing, we just totally disregard or have no idea about it. We got to make it make sense. All right, let's get back to this. Let them finish off.
Was any other time, but when you're watching football and you just what the hell? In between big commercials, they give you this.
Yeah, I think it's important to admit that this was a pretty solid hit, digging up this old questionnaire that Kamala Harris responded to from the ACLU, where she was prompted by the organization to adopt this stance, and she did so quite willingly. It is not, I think we can all recognize that even if you, for some reason, happen to agree with it, I do not think it is a politically popular stance. I think it is one that's made her quite vulnerable to say specifically that inmates, criminals, should have their sex.
Yo, first off, the fact that it's inmates, I'm sitting here thinking about it. I don't want my tax dollars going to funding gender affirming surgeries or whatever they're called. For people, if you want to have that surgery, you pay for it. Why are my tax dollars paying for that? I don't understand. And now you're going to implement that same strategy or same policy for inmates? Like, come on, right? Y'all are doing the most. Like, it's to the point where this has been out of hand. I don't even know what to call it now.
Change operations or whatever it is paid for by the state. I would further wonder whether some of them might not. This is not at all, in my view, a ridiculous scenario where someone who's going to be in prison for a long time would seek this kind of treatment in order to get into the women's prison instead of the men's prison, which is much safer than men's prisons in many.
Oh, man. It's a lot going on. All right, so wanted to show that. All right, so we're going to move on. So we've been covering a little bit. I think we touched on Candace Owens, what's going on with her. She's doing a deep dive on Kamala Harris, and she's not letting up. There's been a lot of stuff that has come out where Kamala may get in trouble for faking her identity.
Ew, it's Dak. Just want to thank you for checking out our video and visiting the OG Network. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure that you give us a like. And if you're looking to join a community of inspired individuals striving for purposeful abundance, subscribe. And if you're feeling real generous, share the video with some friends and family. All right, I'll see y'all soon. Ew.